All right. So, Catherine here, founder of Love, Awareness, and Purpose, beginning our full moon webinar series, How to Kick Off the New Year. So I'm pretty psyched. I have it on live and I'm here also on the webinar. So you'll see my eyes kind of moving up and down. But I'm excited to begin this journey with you. So let's first start off with a nice deep in breath. So just taking a nice deep in breath and slowly exhaling. One more nice deep in breath and slowly exhaling. Now, why is it important for us to begin with our breath? Our breath is giving us life. It's filling up our lungs. And so by us beginning our day, our intentions, our next step that we're about to do, if we're about to go somewhere, we're about to meet somebody, or when we are completely stressed out, we come back to our breath. Okay? So knowing that we're going to come into this intentional full moon series, we're going to be focusing on a few layers. We're going to be focusing on ourselves. We're going to be focusing on how it is that we can take that additional next step leap into this new year. Because knowing that, yes, we are on month 2, it's never too late. It is never too late to begin the next steps that we are doing. Okay? And what it is that we're calling in for this new year. What is our intentions? What is our goal? So what's beautiful about the full moon is that it affects the oceans of the worlds, of the earth. And knowing how powerful, knowing it's outside the earth, how is it that it affects our oceans? And knowing this alone, let's come back to ourselves, we're about 76% of water. So I'm not sure if you may recall, there has been, and I remember this when I was in my teens, that the more police cars we've seen around revealed to us that it's a full moon. Like, oh, it must be a full moon. And why is that? So the full moon does have an effect on us. It does trigger us. It does get to us. And it starts stirring things up within us. And so in Ayurveda, our waters, our inner waters, our emotional body is our lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system is considered the rivers of our body. So the more present we are with the rivers of our body, the more that when we experience this moon, it's not going to be as intense. And also, we'll be more conscious of it. We'll be more present with it. It won't be coming forward as an illusion of things that are happening, where people are triggering you. Oh, this is happening to me because this person this. No, instead, we're given an opportunity to make a connection with our inner waters so that when these beautiful, powerful planets come into alignment, or is a full moon, is a new moon, we're able to take that full-on step towards the intentions of the full moon. So like as I've mentioned, this full moon has to do with our health, our lifestyle, and as always, the step of letting things go. Okay? Because the stir that is moving, when the moon is moving and stirring things up, things begin to slough up. The same way if we are cooking a nice pot of soup and we begin to stir, everything that's in the bottom of the pot begins to surface. So now that we have these things that are surfacing, what is it that we want to let go? What is it that we are going to stay with? And what is it that we're going to set free that we no longer need, that no longer serves us? So what's beautiful about the piece of letting go is that we are capable of creating our own space, creating space within our minds, within our emotional body, within our intentions, our goal, our future goals, and what is it that we're envisioning. You know, this comes into like when you are beginning to decorate your home. If you have many paintings many things, many pictures on your wall, yet you have a new experience, you have a new painting that's coming in, you can't hang it anywhere. So it's going to have to be set to the side until there's space given, meaning you're going to have to shift, move, let go one of the paintings that have been on your wall for some time. Has it served you? If it hasn't served you, why are you still holding on to it? If it has served you, okay, how is it that you can place it into a space where it can continue to be seen and acknowledged? Okay, so, and this is dealing with from people, this is dealing with our environment, our hobbies, our rituals, our routines that we have. And coming back to our health, how has it been as far as your food intake? You know, how's it been as far as your movement of exercise? How's it been of your stillness of your mind? And how's it been working for you? So if you find difficulties of trying to create the space for you to get into a routine of an exercise, and we're already on month 2, then perhaps there's space that's needed to be created so that you can make that next step. Okay? And so coming back to the full moon, one of the main things that has been brought up is that knowing it's moving and assisting our waters, is bringing our intention, it's heightening our intention at this point into details, where we begin to analyze and set a sharpness into the areas of our lives. Okay? And if we don't catch ourselves in it, or even being able to, perhaps, again, this is where, how in touch are we with our inner waters, our lymphatic system? How is it that we can take a moment to pause so we can feel those waves that are coming up? Because being able to be attentive to the details that are surfacing up and being able to analyze, like, is this serving me? What is this? And it becomes more clear, more crystal clear on what are the things that needs to be seen. And then from there, it would be up to you of letting it go. It'll be up to you on what is the next step you take. So no one's not going to do that action for you. And that's one of the most important pieces that of what I've witnessed within my own journey and with the journey of my clients, that we prevent ourselves from actually experiencing these beautiful journeys that we've been on. And we prevent it because we don't take the action. We don't take that next step. We hold ourselves back from these experiences because we're so comfortable within our environment. We're so comfortable in our routine, yet we want to have change, yet we're trying to call in and attract these many different layers of ourselves to surface up because you know they're there, because you're driven towards it. But if we're driven towards it and we're not creating the space for us to expand, how is it that we can actually move forward if we're not taking the action? So yeah, the full moon. This is what's beautiful and powerful about the full moon. And it comes with many different properties, many different elements that begins to surface up in every single month. And I believe this full moon is the full moon in Virgo, which makes sense about the details, right? So Virgos are known to be really detailed. And what's beautiful is being able to be more aware of these planets that are aligning, of these other pieces of ourselves that are just extensions of ourselves, that are literally triggered by ourselves, like with ourselves. So when I come into this webinar series, and the reason why I began it on the full moon is because a good percentage of us perhaps are being triggered right now. And our environment, our loved ones are literally triggering us to a point where we're like, what is going on? Why is this happening to me? And so being able to see that definitely has us questioning, is it a full moon right now? Like, what is going on? Is Mercury in retrograde? And it does affect us. It does hit us, especially parts where we're extremely emotional, or when we see people just really in their action and in their truth of where they're at. Because honestly, wherever we're at in our journey, there is no right or wrong. That's just where we're at. And we're making the next step and choice on how it is that we're going to be addressing this. So, coming back to why begin this webinar series on a full moon and why continue to follow these cycles is just an assistance, your awareness, your tools that you could start to implement into your life. Things that you could become more intentional. You can create more intentions where perhaps you don't have time to set time to meditate, set time to pause, set time to write or draw. Perhaps it's impossible. And I completely can resonate with that. But when we have these nice friendly reminders, such as the moon, then it goes ahead and gives us like, you know what? Let me at least, full moon happens once a month, new moon happens once a month. Let me at least set this twice a month or once a month intentionally for myself, because I'm trying to kick something off and move on into this year. And because you have a goal, you have a vision, and that vision is there for a reason. And so if you find yourself having difficulty the past, let's say, month and a half already, of really achieving that vision, or even getting close to it, or maybe even you're having difficulty of even seeing it possible, don't worry. You're just in month 2. Give yourself the time and energy, because for things to get built, time and energy is needed. And if you have yet to set that apart, then perhaps setting the intentions for the full moon will give you a good start of it. Okay? So knowing that this is our first part of the series, I would like for you to set on a schedule. Okay? Create your calendar. And perhaps put it into like a bullet point, something that you can check off, where like, okay, I'm going to do this on this day. And perhaps it's a calendar that you can either write it. If it's something that you already have, that you know you look at every day, that's what we want to aim for. And this calendar is going to have your main schedule, your main focus of things. And perhaps you work with your phone. So add it into your phone. Have it as an alarm where you have to check it off that it's done. Okay? And so let's begin by seeing, perhaps you have a fitness goal, okay? And you want to lose weight, or you want to build muscle, you want to get fit for this year. Most importantly, in order to get there, you have to make sure you have a set schedule of building the muscle, a set schedule of moving the lymph, of moving your body. Something set for yourself, because obviously you looking at your to-dos or what you have to do, or you looking at, okay, that is my goal of how I would like to look like. You have to set it where then you make the action for it. Now, I know this sounds extremely simple, but honestly, sometimes we just need a little bit more reinforcement, something else to assist us to go ahead and check it off, okay? And we're human. We got so many things that we have in mind. We have our family, we have our friends, we have our job. We have so many things that are happening within our lives. We have things that are emotionally affecting us. We have finances. We have relationships. There's a lot of things that does affect on how we achieve our goal, achieve our mission, our vision. But if you are looking at this big vision, mission of yours, let's begin by seeing what is it that you can accomplish as soon as you wake up in the morning. What are the most difficult things that you have yet to achieve that involves the morning flow? Perhaps it is you actually waking up a few minutes early so that you can do some stretches, where you can do a good workout, where you can jump into the gym. Perhaps it's a morning where you don't have enough time to make breakfast. Take your supplements. So look at the things that you have a little difficulties in really achieving. That is the first part. That is the first thing you want to look at. That needs to be the part that's on top. What are the hardest things for me to do in the morning? Because if you cannot accomplish the first things in the morning, then it's extremely difficult for you to accomplish anything that's outside of that morning, outside of the doors of your home. Okay? So let's go ahead and list those things out for yourself. Okay? And hopefully, if there isn't any, how is your morning? Have you had a chance to implement some meditation? A moment to actually fully pause and breathe. Because that would be the first piece for us as soon as we open our eyes. It's taking that nice deep in breath. And exhaling. And what we're doing is that breath is spirit. And so knowing that we've been in the dream world for the past, hopefully 7 to 8 hours, we've been out of our body. So what we want to do is inhale and bring our spirit, our soul back into our body and ready to head out for the day. Because what's beautiful of the universal connection that we have with every single being that we cross paths with is that the more embodied we are, the more aware we are. And so let us take that deep few breaths in the morning, where then again it can continue to build into a meditation practice. How still is your mind before you begin your day? Or is your mind active? Oh, I gotta get this, I have my phone, hold on, let me see this, let me see that. If our mind is extremely active, how are those moments that are able to come in and you're able to get downloads or clarities, that gut feeling, oh, I don't think I need to go here, I feel this. Like, this is why it's important for us to have a practice of meditation, because it gives us those steps and it assists us. It gives us those tools to assist us to be more present in our life, where then it creates more space for more. It gives us another eye. It actually opens our eye even further. It stimulates the pineal gland. It assists us to really see. And as we see, we're able to see to a point of things that you don't need and you no longer need. Where you're not only stimulated by the full moon to bring these things up for you, but you're actually already stimulating your pineal gland, your third eye, to have access to this flow that's happening. Because we have this right here already. It's in us. All we have to do is create a calmness. All we have to do is create a moment of ease and stillness with ourselves. Okay? So, knowing that having this beautiful, powerful full moon, also known as the biggest supermoon, I think it's mentioned, is the biggest supermoon of this year, 2019. You're not missing out. I don't, in case you're catching this afterwards, it's okay. All you have to do is just set your intentions. Because at the end of the day, it is you that is creating the change. It is you that is making that next step for yourself. So I hope you have a chance to go ahead and make that list for yourself. Have the calendar, a bullet point calendar you're able to check off. What are the things that you cannot accomplish in the morning? What are the rituals that you can create on a monthly basis, where perhaps it can build into a weekly basis that involves you, your practice, your stillness, your meditation, your time for you, your self-care, your self-love, your creativity. So we'll be diving into this further within the series. Just want for you to get a good start on how this series is going to be diving into, okay? Because we're looking at tools to assist us. But first, in order for us to look at these tools, we also, again, coming back into the full moon and why the full moon comes up is stir things up so we can see what are the things we need to let go. And again, this is not just letting go of the things outside of us, not just letting go of the material things or people or jobs. We're looking at letting go of even our patterns, our habits, our comforts, the things that we're so comfortable with, that we are so attached to. See, now that is a deeper level for yourself and the beauty of the full moon. Are we attached in certain ways of living and being and acting? Are we so attached to these ways where we end up missing out on a lot of things, even perhaps missing out of connections with people because we're so attached and comfortable in these ways? So I'm going to give you an example of myself. One of the biggest pieces is that for me, I am energetically sensitive, which is also known as being an empath as well. And, you know, feeling and experiencing all the things in the beginning, I wasn't aware that I was energetically sensitive. I thought I just didn't, it just didn't feel right, me being around people, and perhaps even at times certain people or groups of people or locations, spaces. And then as I continue on my journey of mindfulness and meditation and coming back to myself journey, I began to unveil so many things. I'm like, oh wow, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling all these other layers of myself, but then also these other energies around me. Being able to identify, I would have out of nowhere feelings. I'm like, what is this feeling? That just came out of nowhere. And it was because the person next to me was extremely depressed and I felt it. And so I didn't like those feelings. I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to keep myself enclosed. I was already an introvert. And yeah, my partner at the time was extremely extrovert. So for me, I just I'm not going out as often. I probably went out maybe about 3 times a month. And I was mainly work and studies. And so that kept me good. But then that also kept me away from the world and connecting with people. And so the way how I thought things, no, I can't do this because I'm not feeling that. Instead, I did miss out on a few things. But what I've learned through this journey is that really it was an opportunity to strengthen my energetic field. How can I strengthen my energetic field so that I can also come forward into these beautiful environments that my partners was going at the time, and environments that I know that it would be amazing to connect and collaborate with many other people. So because I was so in a state of no, I'm energetically sensitive, that's why I don't go out dancing, even though I love to dance. No, I'm energetically sensitive, that's why I don't go to these places. And that held me back. But of course, if we are feeling energetically sensitive, How is it that we can strengthen our energetic field? How is it that we can bring that piece forward so that we're not missing out on these many events that are happening around us? And this is one of the most important pieces within Vata, within the element of ether air. So again, within this webinar series, I'll be providing detailed tools, but once again, coming back to what are the habits we need to let go so that we can create the space for the new approaches, for the new tools that can assist us within our journey. So feel free to comment. Again, I know I'm doing the webinar and I'm doing the live right now. So many blessings to you all. I'm really glad that you all were able to make it. And yeah, setting the intentions for this full moon tonight. It's pretty powerful. And what I'm grateful again about it is that it triggers things. So it gives me an opportunity. What are the things I need to look at? What are the things I need to let go? And what are the old stories that are surfacing that are coming up for a reason? So having a good recap of what we just went through, just creating that calendar of events, knowing it's never too late to begin the new year, having your list of to-dos of what it is that you find difficult to accomplish in the morning, and setting perhaps once or twice a month a ritual where it can be based on the full moon and new moon. Okay, so these are tools that can assist you as you continue on this beautiful journey we call life. So many blessings. May you have a wonderful, amazing full moon, and we'll see you soon.